Hi everybody, Brian from Bearable Traders. It is the weekend again, October the 19th. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. And of course, this is the weekend video. I'll go through some of the market action last week, quick review, and then we'll take a look at what we got coming up this week in the market. So let's get down to it. Okay, so let's start out and take a look at what happened last week. The markets moved higher yet again. It's kind of getting to be a boring story here. So the S&P hitting a 47th record close, while the Dow hits its 40th for the year. So market just keeps moving up. Good retail sales numbers this week. Earnings reports were pretty good. Investors and traders are feeling pretty good about the Fed delivering that soft landing everyone's talking about. And we still have a 90% chance of a rate cut coming up for the November 7th Fed meeting. So, we're firing on all cylinders, as it appears to be anyway. Although the market is pretty rich on a PE basis, and that's the only concern, I guess. But it doesn't seem to be much of a concern for the markets right now. So indexes, you can see they're all finishing up on the week. IWM, that interest rate sensitive index is up the most. I think a lot of there's a lot of small banks in there, and of course the XLF, the financials have done really well this week, and I think that's partly a reflection of why the IWM is up so much there. Utilities and real estate back to being the bigger gainers on the week, and I featured those last week in my video as potential longs, and they turned out to be great. We'll talk about that in a little while. Energy, the big losing sector for the week, as China continues to struggle, and of course the energy sector seems to hinge a lot on energy. That sector seems to hinge a lot on performance of the China economy. 2-year and 10-year pretty much flat on the week, really didn't go anywhere as far as the treasury yields go. Dollar was up pretty strong, and Bitcoin was up a lot for the week, over $5,000. So volatility still strong, or still high in that market, but Bitcoin looks like it's breaking out. So that was your week in review. And before we move forward, as always, like to do a quick plug for my efforts here. These are my books on Amazon, How to Swing Trade, very popular book, and Profiting as an Active Trader, a little bit more intensive look at how to swing trade. And then, of course, my latest book, How to Trade Options, both as far as day trading and swing trading, or even position trading. So all those books there, if you want to check them out, they're on Amazon in all the different formats: audio, electronic, or hard copy. Okay, so let's look at our indexes before we get into looking at some specific trades that happened last week and potentials for next week, this coming week. Starting out, of course, with the TLT, the price of the longer term bonds. You can see here we've kind of settled into a range. We came back up on Wednesday, got to this trend line. If you join these candles here, got pretty close to it anyway. Couldn't get through this moving average, and the trend line rejected again. I kind of feel like we're going to consolidate here. These yields have gone back up, which is why the price of the bonds have gone down. Yields have gone back up because I think the treasury market obviously feels like inflation could be making a comeback as we get into 2025, which I kind of feel the same way. The dollar, again, the dollar is strong, even though yields didn't really change much over the week. You can see here we're right back up at this high that was back in July. And again, maybe part of the issue, of course, is the strength of the U.S. dollar against maybe the yen and the euro, which are the main currencies that this one reflects against. The Qs, again, you can see here back in July, this is our high. We still have not made a new high yet. We have consolidated throughout the week. You can kind of see here we really didn't make much of a gain here. We had the ASML numbers come out. Of course, they were not great. The semiconductor sold off, and then TSM, we had a little bit of a reprieve after TSM came out with some positive notes and earnings. So a bit of a mixed bag there on the semiconductors this week. But you can see here, really, we just traded in a range here. So we're kind of consolidating, staying above this this 9 EMA moving average, and we did dip down here last week and come off the 20, so kind of a 920 trade, one of the trades we do in our day trading room. But again, we do seem to be kind of chopping sideways here on the week. As far as the SPY goes, again, another record high on Thursday. Didn't quite get there, sort of inside day on Friday, but again, just continuing to move up here with the SPY. And but again, sort of a week where we didn't really, we kind of traded in a bit of a range there. So maybe we're just going to take a breather here after these big runs. But SPY did another record high for the SPY this week. The Dow is really the one that's doing well here. We we started out the week, bounced off this 9 EMA and came back up and went out near all-time, or then we did go out near we're near or at all-time highs on the Dow. So Dow still looking strong here. Those 30 stocks. IWM, you can see here. Let's look at it on a weekly basis, because you kind of see here, get a better view as to what's going on here. So we're looking pretty good here. We're up near the highs from back in July. This high here is around 228. We're currently at 225.5, 225.6, so very close. Again, the IWM performance this week, I think a lot of it was based on strong financial stuff. There is a lot of small banks in the IWM, so of course we had a nice move up in the IWM on a weekly basis there. So pushing to all-time high on the IWM, and if you're playing that, another way to do that is with the ETF called TNA. It's a Dexion levered ETF, so you get 2 or 3 times your beta if you're thinking it was going to break out. And Bitcoin's really been, you can see here, we were in a bit of a narrowing range there, but we've really broken out. We broke out, I guess, start of last week, and yeah, continued to look strong here. It's down a little bit today, but we are threatening to come up higher here over 72,000. And I think if we go back far enough here, this 72,000 is one area where there'll probably be resistance, and maybe then 74,000. But Bitcoin kind of breaking out of this this flag that it's been in for a long period of time. So that's the way things are looking right now, and you might want to consider maybe watching Bitcoin as a possible long, or one of the proxies like MicroStrategies or Coinbase. All right, so let's watch or take a look at some of the trades I've currently got on, and a lot of these trades this week are ones that I have been watching and highlighting in my my potentials list. And we'll start out with TD. I've been talking about TD. It really sold off after this announcement. They were hit with this $3 billion fine for enabling money laundering. Not a great look for Toronto Dominion, but we did finally find a bottom. I am in now on TD here, and what I'm doing with this trade is I'm in now long on the stock, and I am selling upside calls against it. So I'm kind of feeling like it's probably going to settle out here in a range. And by selling upside calls, I'm collecting the premium. They are covered because I have the stock. So if it all of a sudden rips to $60, I'll have a choice to make in terms of whether I want to keep the stock and cover the calls, or whether I just let the take the profits on the ride up, and of course be penalized because I had the calls that took the stock away from me. But that's what I'm doing right now. I kind of feel we're in a range. I'm going to keep. I'll collect the dividend on TD that they give, and I'll also keep selling calls probably until, and we'll just see where it goes. So that's one trade I'm in. That was something I was watching on my watch list from last week. Here's another one that I highlighted, this XLU trade. This was one that I kind of felt like it had done this nice flag pullback, and I entered the trade on Monday and I got a nice move back up. We went right back up to the high of day here. So if you were following some of my potential trades, this was, I think, a bonus trade I threw in there in the last minute, XLU and XLERE, which are ETFs. This is the utility ETF. So got a nice move on that one. Good swing trade there. I'm still in some of it. This was another one I was scouting for a couple weeks, and it's finally starting to break out here. So I got into it on Thursday as it broke through this 260 level, and now it's up around, went out at 287, 281 after hours. But yeah, so we're back into a area of resistance, but I'm hoping we'll move up. We've had some crazy moves on some of these stocks like drug and some other ones, some of these small cap ones. This is not really a small cap. I think there's 200 million shares outstanding. A small cap, I mean low float is what I mean. So, 5 million shares. This one's got 20 million, so it's not a low float stock. Okay, hello. Wow. Almost, as I mentioned in the room, almost got stopped out of this because I got in around 10 and it pulled back, almost went down below this moving average, which is where I was going to stop out. But man, we had a ripper there. So still in a few shares, but taken partials along the way as we ripped up through $15. This is the nuclear play that has Sam Altman involved. So highlighted that one a couple weeks ago and got into it. Crowd, I'm still in a little bit of crowd as long as it holds above these moving averages. Still looking for a gap fill around 340-ish. UVXY, rolling over here. I got out of that the little bit that I had left. And CMG continues to kind of just grind up here. And again, as long as it stays above these moving averages, I'll continue to hold it. But I kind of feel like we're getting a little spent here, but we'll see if it can get up through this sort of 60 level. We don't have a lot of volume here, so there isn't a lot of stranded buyers. So we could, if we do get through 60, we could move right back up into this 62, 63 range here fairly easily. So just hanging on to some of those. And that's where I am right now with that. All right, so let's quickly go through some potential trades that I've got for this week. BIVI is kind of this is a low float. I think it's about 5 million shares, and there's about 7% short interest right now on this stock. So I really shouldn't have it in my potentials because I already bought some shares close to the end of the day on Friday. I am going to be watching it. I kind of feel like this is one of those ones that it could become a drug. I'm not really sure, not a drug per se, but the drug stock where it really ripped higher. We'll see. It's really hard to tell how people decide whether these low floats rip higher or not. But I'm into this, and I'm going to be watching it to we'll see if it continues to form. Really nice move after the market on Friday. So I'm going to watch that on Monday as well. TSM, this was really interesting. To me, it looked like, we had quite a run up here, big gap up on earnings, threw a bit of a doji candle here, reversing candle, and then came back down. I think there's a gap to fill here. Now it's going to be a little dangerous because, it could rip higher, but again, I feel like the semi's still struggling a little bit here, and we could drop below 200, but we'll watch that for next week. XLF is another one that I feel like is really extended here and looking like it's putting in some topping action. We've had all the big banks reporting, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, all those big banks have reported, and this is up quite a bit. They've all run up quite a bit and maybe due for a little bit of a consolidation pullback here. So could sell some puts on XLF, or sell some calls on XLF, maybe the 48s, and then if you want some protection, maybe buy the 50s. just in case it continues to move higher. But that's another one I kind of feel like all these indexes and stocks, I mean, I feel like they're so overextended right now. I kind of feel like it's not the time to be getting aggressively long, but sticking with the positions you have, and maybe selling some options, some debits to get to take advantage of the fact that maybe we're kind of extended here for the time being. And then Amazon, kind of watching Amazon, I kind of feel like if we can break out of this 190 level, we could head up to 195. Again, it was one of the ones that announced it's going to be investing in nuclear energy for all their facilities to run their AI, etc. High energy consumer. So yeah, kind of watching Amazon here for a break of 190. Kind of keeping it light this week. Just so everybody knows, I am going on vacation. I will be leaving Friday afternoon. I'll be gone for about a week and a half. I'm going over to Europe, and so we'll see if we can get out a video next weekend. We'll have to see if I can find some time to do that. But again, keeping my watch list for next week a little bit lighter. So that's it. Okay, so let's wrap things up here. And what do we got to look forward to on the week of October 21st? You can see here's where we are with the Dow. You can see we've broken through that 43,000 level. And I just keep raising these resistance prices on the Dow and the SPY, especially Qs, still not quite back at that summer high, but we're trying to get there. IWM very close to all-time highs, of course. And you can see here, as far as economic events go, not a lot of stuff going on this week. We do have jobless claims as usual, which the Fed is focusing on. And of course, we've got sort of consumer confidence on Friday. But like I said, not a lot of high profile events coming this week. And then as far as earnings go, some interesting stuff. Of course, we've got Tesla on Wednesday after the close. We'll have Amazon before the open on Thursday. So some of those to watch as well. So that's it, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend. And we'll look forward to seeing you join us, whether it's in the YouTube, live on YouTube, or our members, of course. And we'll be starting things off 8 o'clock as usual, pre-market show. And we'll go from there, trade through the market open. Take care, everyone, and hopefully see you Monday.